we're good. Item number 7, County Engineer Hall. I don't want to lose this meeting now. We're starting to slide a little bit, so go back to real reality. County Engineer Hall.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll slow it down for sure. The first thing I'd like to talk to you about really briefly is the storms that we're going to be coming here tonight and into the next few days. The forecasts for these storms are up and down, and it depends a lot on temperature and where the low hits and stuff like that. So there's a lot of unknowns going into this. I will tell you, though, at this point, they're looking at some place starting tonight and then through Saturday. So for the next few days, we'll be experiencing some miserable weather. I did want to let you know that our sanders are all ready, and we'll be salting and sanding at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll be out and looking at the roads and taking care of any of our, especially our high-volume roadways. One thing I did want to point out that plowing at gravel roads at this time of year is problematic. You know, if we get out there with our heavy equipment, a lot of times we do more damage than good. So we are going to be only doing that on limited basis, plowing the gravel roads. Of course, if there's an emergency or anything like that, and that comes into 911, we will address those types of issues and stuff. But in general, we're just going to take a backseat a little bit on the gravel roads, just so you know about that. A couple things to keep in mind that are very important to keep in mind. When you're out cleaning your driveways and stuff, don't push snow out onto the roadway. It causes problems with our plows, especially if it freezes up hard and then we hit that with a wing and stuff. We break equipment and we can cause additional accidents. So please don't push any kind of snow out onto the public roadways. I always tell people, take extra time. That's so important. Just take your time. I mean, if you go in a ditch, it could be a bad day, but it could be a horrible day for you if you're in an accident of some time. So just take your time. Especially now with our ditches being super saturated, you're not going to drive out.
No.
You are going to get stuck. So take your time. Don't end up in the ditch in the first place. And that goes into the be patient kind of thing. Just be patient with the plows, everything that's going on out there. Dress accordingly always. Winter weather out there, dress for the weather and be prepared for that. And there's also a lot of good websites out there. North Dakota Department of Transportation has a travel map that's very good. The National Weather Service has a good map. We have a lot of good information on our emergency management website and the county website. So just stay informed as far as the residents go. That's the most important thing you can do for yourself, and be patient. I'd happy to answer any kind of questions you may have on any of the weather information that we have.
A lot more people are putting things in right away. And in fact, we now even have a 4-yard dumpster in right away. How do we handle that?
Commissioners, yes, we have a lot of things that are in the right of way. Some of them are by permit and some of them aren't. Example is mailboxes. We have a lot of mailboxes that are in the right of way, and we try to avoid them as often as we can. From time to time, there is an accident and a mistake, and we do hit those, but we try to very often to avoid that particular issue. There's also a lot of times, especially this time of year, farmers, ranchers, and different people or small ranchettes that are out there like to put grazing of animals in the ditches. So they'll put temporary fence up along the edge of the roadway. Those things are very hard for us not to knock out. So I always recommend to remove those things this time of year so that they're not in the way. In addition to that, there's also from time to time some heavy pieces of things out there that get placed in the right-of-way. Generally, we handle those on a case-by-case basis. We'll let the individual remove them, you know, if they prefer to keep it and stuff. But if it is not removed, if it's a safety hazard, we go out and take care of it and remove them. So.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Peluso.
Just a question, Marcus, on our project up north on Washington. Are we on schedule?
Commissioners, we've been meeting with the contractor. The state and the county has been meeting with that particular contract on that particular project and on the Hall Road. It's the same project that we have gotten on both. They have been delayed for weather reasons throughout the state. They have numerous projects that they are working on that they're having problems with. We've we've informed them, that the Washington Street project and 1804 is extremely critical to us, and we need to have that paved by yet this year. They have promised us to do their best on that particular project. And so we're still crossing our figure. We still think that we're going to have a little segment of warm weather after this blows through, that they can possibly hit it, a window. I am, in many ways, more concerned about the Hall Road and what we're going to do out there. And what my intent is to go through several different options, put something together for the next county board meeting on that particular item, on how we want to proceed with that. Because at that project out there, we have not gotten pavement down yet either. So we're about 25 to 30% done on that one, that's all.
The concrete's done, but none of the paving, right?
That's correct.
Right.
That 25-mile-an-hour detour is gonna get me. And I don't understand how you go from 25 to 45.
Commissioners, the 25 is on 57th and right in front of the subdivision that was originally placed there. That was very problematic when we originally placed that and how we decided to put that speed limit in there. Because that roadway was a part of a subdivision, and all subdivisions in North Dakota, rural subdivisions included, are 25 miles an hour. That's why that speed zone is 25. At this point, the city has annexed that piece of roadway through there. And so the city could make a change to that speed limit if they so choose. So at this point, that's what we've decided was the 25, but they've taken that piece of roadway over since that time, and so they can make a change to that.
Did I see the mayor in the back room?
He just left.
Did he leave? Oh, okay. I've heard a lot, we get a lot of complaints on that, because you go from 45 to 25, and I was there on Sunday, and man, I looked, and I was doing 42, and if there had been a deputy there, I'd been in trouble. Can we make a recommendation to move to 35? We can make a resolution right now to do that, because to me, 25 is way too slow. Is that our decision to make that 25 to begin with?
It was our decision to make,
But
well,
now
actually, let me rephrase that. It's Hay Creek Township's decision to make that 25 in the original discussion.
Okay.
We did approve of that and did agree with them on their decision-making process. However, at this point, like I said, it's the city's responsibility. So if this board would like to make a recommendation, I'd be happy to pass that along to the city engineering staff and see if they want to review that situation and make a change.
Do you want that in form of a motion, or?
I would appreciate that
Yeah,
in a
I
moment.
think so.
So moved.
We have a motion, second, and a third. All those in favor?
Commissioners, before you vote on that, is the motion for 35, which
35.
is being very predictive, or would you prefer to just have them review that and change it appropriately?
There you go. That might be 45 all the way across, because
Yeah.
it's the only spot on there that it's not 45 from 8.
Doesn't have anything to do with the former commissioner, county commissioner living along there, does it?
Of course not, sir.
I'm sure not, okay. Okay, we'll change that motion. Is that okay with the motion in a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Thank you. Now moving on.